Gaga, Weeknd, Cardi, Bunny, Waluigee, Lorde, Aklu, Twigs. One of these people made the best album of 2025. I'll give you a hint. They died for our sins. The soundtrack of Mario Kart World is not only spectacular in its own right, but it also reflects the journey of the series in a way that I haven't seen anybody talk about. There's been a lot of talk surrounding Mario Kart World, the first new Mario Kart game in over a decade. A good amount of that discourse has skewed negative, especially this bit, which is and always has been wrong, but there's one thing that even the haters can praise the game for. Its soundtrack. People have been saying this is an $80 soundtrack that just happens to have a game inside. I think that's a little inaccurate because it implies people actually pay for music these days. In reality, this is a streaming service that you pay a one-time fee for, and instead of looking at the Spotify UI, you get to look at Cow. This is a soundtrack that carries on Mario Kart's legacy of great music. Okay, don't get mad yet. Here's something interesting about most of the past Mario Kart games' music. It was never considered a big deal. Here are the words used in reviews at the time to describe the music. Playful, cheery, lighthearted, cute, gets the job done. You may take offense to that, but I think I know where those reviews were coming from. I think the issue was more about the production and how it was limited because of the hardware each game was on. The composers had to work with bleeps and bloops and MIDI and whistling. So much whistling. And in fairness, when you're actually playing Mario Kart, you don't always hear the music. It's all a matter of hindsight. The soundtrack of Super Circuit has some very catchy melodies, but we're blessed today to have high-res rips of the audio. Try enjoying those songs in 2025 when you play them out of a GBA's crusty speakers. Hell, have you ever played Mario Kart 64 with 4 people? There's no music at all. You might also think I'm dumb to take the word of gaming journalists, but A, it's hard to find relevant public discourse at a time when social media didn't exist and the internet was far more niche. B, the alternative is comments under the soundtracks on YouTube from people who played the game as kids and are 100% biased because of it. Just came here to say goodbye. Can someone check on the cookie flavored jar? Are they okay? And C, these reviews are from the 2000s, so they are not woke type reviews or whatever buzzword we're using this week.
Great gameplay, great graphics, great controls. But it's too bad I can't say the same for this piece of released for the Nintendo Wii.
But then we got... Here are some words used in reviews at the time to describe this game's music. Phenomenal, brilliant, thrilling. The music in Waha Gur was unusually excellent for a Mario Kart game, and it didn't have to be held back like before. On Wii U, you could bring out the full band. Hot buttered popcorn, that's music to my ears. A previous Mario game had conceived this big band sound for the series, but Mario Kart 8 cemented that sound's place in the franchise. So where do you go from there?
Game star.
The stars of Mario Kart 8 soundtrack were the horns. The stars of Mario Kart World's soundtrack are the harmonica and the electric guitar. If Mario Kart 8 sounded like a Great Gatsby-style party, Mario Kart World sounds like the open road. Traveling down Route 66, you're on guitar and Lightning McQueen's on the harmonica because he can't play the guitar because he got no hands. Just listen to how the two play off each other on Mario Bros. Circuit. The horns are still definitely here though. Their defining moment to me is on Faraway Oasis. I love this track, specifically the sped up version that plays during the final lap when it hits you with the Horns and talkbox trade bars as you drive through Crown City. Take a stop at Birdo Jewelry to pick something up for your spouse, or Snake Milker. Try not to do an Irish jig when you hear the strings and banjo in Whistle Stop Summit. The interplay of horns, strings, and piano guide you through DK Spaceport, communicating in music the story of Donkey Kong, just like that new DK game is gonna do. Cheap Cheap Falls rocks a mix of traditional Japanese instrumentation with the electric guitar, sort of like Ninja Hideaway from Mario Kart Tour. When you get up to Bowser's Castle, you're physically unable to continue playing because you will be too busy headbanging for your life. The whole idea of Mario Kart World is that you're in a world with karts and Mario, and you drive to each course. Nintendo calls these sections routes, the internet calls them intermissions. I'm gonna make my own name and call them Glorpus tracks. Each course has its own scaled down version of its music, and you get to hear it as you approach from the Glorpus. I love the flange effect as you drive up to Airship Fortress, and then when you finally enter the track, the staccato piano with the shimmering chimes as you approach Stardew Peak, and then the track hits you with that chill perk. All of these little build-ups help create this pent-up excitement, especially in the new Knockout Tour mode, as you get closer to each checkpoint and the screen is taken up by Knockout Aura? I don't know what that is. So between the songs for each track, the sped up final versions, the Glorpus versions, and some odds and ends like the victory music, we're looking at 121 songs on Mario Kart World's soundtrack. That's a pretty healthy amount. That's not even half. The rest of Mario Kart World's soundtrack features re-recorded versions of songs from all other Mario Kart games so far. The best compliment I can give these new arrangements is that they sound like how you remember them. I love the music from Yoshi Falls on the DS, but my childhood imagination was definitely doing a lot of the heavy lifting back then. In Mario Kart World, the piece is redone so well. This is what Yoshis hear and feel as they travel life's unfamiliar roads. Koopa Troopa Beach gets remade with a slick EDM arrangement. Makes me feel like I'm partying in Ibiza with Mike Posner and the guys from Hot Shell Ray. The results music for Mario Kart 64 is here, and it's still in 11.8. For the freaks. I also love the fact that some songs have day and night versions. Waluigi Pinball in the daytime sounds like its usual pristine self, but you put on the nighttime version, you're suddenly driving down Alphabet Street in a 1997 Toyota Tercel with your boys. Even the songs for Mario Kart 8, the ones that needed a glow up the least, still get a glow up. Dolphin Shoals was arguably the most famous piece for Mario Kart 8 because of its ridiculous sax lick. So how do you one-up it for Mario Kart World? More horns. But oh, that's not all. Not only do we have re-recorded versions of past Mario Kart music, but we have new renditions of songs from basically every mainline Mario game ever made. There are more songs in this soundtrack than songs that exist in life. I've been playing this game pretty regularly for a month plus, and I'm still finding songs I hadn't heard before. And in some cases, they went with the weirdest picks. Remember the song that plays in Mario 64 when you creep up on a piranha plant? No? Well, that's in the game. Remember the song that plays when you swat flies in Mario Paint? Well, that's here, and it sounds like you're wrestling a giant fly in an underground fighting ring. Remember the Mario drawing song? This was a song they did for the Flipnote app on the DS. It teaches you how to draw Mario. This song doesn't even exist. I'm making it up. There's no way. The Luigi's Mansion theme sounds like it just took the plane in from New Orleans with Voodoo Vince. The new Yoshi Star Galaxy arrangement might be my favorite just for how subtle the change was. The original, energetic, bouncy, full of Yoshi cheer. Now see what happens when you take its BPM down. How about the underground theme? This is arguably the second piece of music anyone ever heard in a video game, the first being the main Super Mario theme. How do you make it sound cool again? Easy. Go to your nearest asylum, find the most crazed inmate, put him behind a drum kit, and tell him go. Listening to these new renditions is such a joy. Somehow, they were able to breathe new life into music that can be up to 40 years old. And that core idea is the reason I've been so excited about this soundtrack and this game to a larger extent. I've seen some people say that Mario Kart is not a system seller, which is funny because it very much is. Look at where Mario Kart sits on the best-selling games for each Nintendo console. Number 4 on SNES, number 2 on N64, number 4 on GBA, number 2 on GameCube, number 3 on DS, number 2 on Wii, number 1 on 3DS, number 1 on Wii U, number 1 on Switch 1. If you combine the sales of Mario Kart 8 and its deluxe version, you get the 5th best-selling video game of all time. Because here's the quietly mind-blowing truth about Mario Kart. It's Nintendo's biggest franchise. Or I mean, it's part of the Mario world and Mario is their biggest franchise. However, if you were to break Mario down into separate pieces, you'd probably go to jail for manslaughter. And if you categorize the Mario games under their own series, 3D platformers, 2D platformers, Mario Party, Mario Sports, Mario Teaches Typing, you'd find that Mario Kart is historically the best-selling subseries. What the hell is a poomp? And I get that Mario Kart doesn't have the same kind of prestige that a 3D Mario or a 3D Zelda have, but you've only got to look at the numbers. If you owned any of the past 3 Nintendo consoles, Mario Kart was, statistically, the game you were most likely to own. It's an interesting juxtaposition. The sales are clearly excellent, people buy it and play it, but up to this point, Mario Kart hadn't been thought of as a massive franchise by the public and possibly even Nintendo themselves. It's like how folks complain about Call of Duty and Madden and NBA 2K, and yet they always top the charts for best-selling games each year. It's also like the pop charts. If you asked any engaged pop music fan who's doing well right now, you'd get names like Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, Lady Gaga. But look who's actually topping the charts: a slice of rye bread and a stack of sourdough bread wearing a cowboy hat. Mario Kart World is Mario. Mario is video games. Mario Kart World is video James. Don't think about it. After 30 years of quietly being Nintendo's biggest series, Mario Kart truly got the AAA treatment, and the soundtrack reflects that same love and care. It will likely go down as not only one of the best video game soundtracks of 2025, but one of the best albums of 2025. But I want want to hear from you now. What are your thoughts about Mario Kart World's soundtrack? Are you playing the game? Do you want to pick up the game at some point? Are you enjoying the soundtrack? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoy the intersection of video games and music, check out my video about games based on musicians.